Well, it looks like Jimmy Kimmel is keen on keeping his title as most arrogant douchebag in the history of the planet. Yeah, I know I said some strong words there at the beginning, but it's absolutely true. This is a guy who's just trying to find a way out of his job at Disney. And if that's not the case, then Disney better watch out because Jimmy Kimmel is going to get you in a lot of legal trouble, potentially. Even some governmental investigation may be called for because Kimmel has been encouraging, with a wink and a nod, Tesla violence. That's right. This happened most recently on his show, and the story coming out of Mediaite on the 19th will spell it out for you, along with the fact that maybe a few people on X are a little more than frustrated. Here we go. Now, before we get started, let's just say this. I'm headed towards 100K. I can only get there with your help. That means double check you're still subscribed to the channel. And if you're here for the first or the 1000th time, just click on subscribe. It's absolutely free. And maybe you have to sign up for an account. Maybe you have to do that. But the account might be worth it because you won't miss anything that way. If you turn on the notification bell, I do videos every day. I do live streams every day. I happen to be around on most of your other favorite channels. So save yourself time and check me out from the very beginning of every weekday. On that note, let's get on to Jimmy Kimmel compromising himself and Disney. From the article here at Mediaite, who you can think what you will about, but the story is kind of spelling it all out. MAGA furious at Jimmy Kimmel joke about vandalizing Teslas. He's basically inciting domestic oopsieism. Sorry, have to change the word for YouTube. But as you can see here from Zachary Lehman, there was a massive response to this, and this story just dropped this afternoon. Jimmy Kimmel ignited fury among MAGA supporters with a quick, sarcastic comment about Tesla vehicles being vandalized. But the problem is, within the context of this article, you'll see the actual tweets that were responding to this and calling out for there to be some kind of reaction or engagement with what could be problematic for Disney. Tuesday's Jimmy Kimmel Live show had noted that Tesla stock had taken a big hit with Elon Musk's focus on Doge and President Donald Trump's administration. He also mentioned Tesla vehicles and buildings are being targeted with vandalism and protests. Kimmel took on a dry, sarcastic tone to inform people that they should not be vandalizing Tesla vehicles, saying, "People have been vandalizing Tesla vehicles. New Tesla vehicles, please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles." That's a lot of sarcasm. The late night host said before taking a long pause and moving on to other Musk jokes while the audience just laughed. Again, a wink, a nod, a lot of sarcasm, saying exactly the opposite. It's the kind of a dog whistle. You remember that term, a dog whistle? Kimmel said Musk had been making the rounds in right-wing media to try and appear to be a human being, citing Musk's recent chat on Senator Ted Cruz's podcast, or Sweaty Teddy, according to Kimmel. Yeah, he's a real cut-up, isn't this Kimmel guy? Trump and Musk supporters were not, however, joining in on the laughter over the Tesla comment. Many accused Kimmel of actually encouraging violence, which I would be in agreement with, and some even suggested lawsuits. Well, I think that and, federal investigation for encouraging extreme illegal acts that have been deemed to be, big-time crimes. Fox News' Sandra Smith said, "I'm not quite sure how that was funny." I would have to agree with Ms. Smith. Jimmy Kimmel virtually encourages his audience to vandalize Tesla vehicles because he dislikes Elon Musk. That's what Kyle Becker wrote on X. The audience laughed at this. And then he says ghouls, which I would agree with. I mean, first of all, putting out a fire of an electric car is insanity. The sheer volume of water or foam or whatever they use to put that down is extraordinary and could be quite harmful. It's also damaging to the environment, and we won't get into the other issues with electric cars because, there's really no point. But one of the things about the Tesla specifically is a lot of these places are brand new and dealerships and things like that. And when it's done to an individual, well, that's a big time felony. And now that it's been made even more than criminal, they've been called a certain type of organization. If you commit such a crime, you are essentially a domestic, ism person that will put you in jail for a long, long time. Libs of TikTok says that Jimmy Kimmel is smugly calling for more Tesla attacks. Evil. Well, Putting it simply, 100% correct. And if you want to watch the clip, you certainly can. I'm not going to play it. First of all, I'm not really going to do a true reaction to this other than this particular article, and it just wouldn't be, I don't know, worth your time. This guy is a smug douche, and that's just the best way to say it. Jack says that you can't really make this up. Jimmy Kimmel is openly calling for more ist acts on Tesla, which kind of seems to be true. Maybe he is affiliated with a bunch of people who used to go visit an island where some illicit acts were done. But he needs to be investigated, not just for that, but for these kind of statements. And I'm going to mention this again. Disney, you may want to get your boy under control, because if somebody determines this or links back to Kimmel for encouraging this, you're going to have big problems. It's not going to be pretty. Bear Armstead says Jimmy Kimmel is inciting domestic isms, and that's a bad thing. I think all Tesla owners who have their property damaged in the future should sue Jimmy Kimmel into oblivion. Yeah, I don't think you could stop every lawsuit. I mean, you could have like thousands of them coming at Kimmel and ABC. You have to remember, everybody, Jimmy Kimmel Live, ABC owned by Disney. You got lots of big pockets there. Go after them all. That's what you're supposed to do in a lawsuit like this, where you have some kind of a claim. I don't think he thought very much about this. And Wokeness went out and said right then and there, Jimmy Kimmel wants more Tesla attacks. I think that was pretty obvious from the clip. If you want to go watch this clip, it's everywhere on X. It might even be still up on YouTube. And if so, good luck. Matthew Nickel is 100% right in saying that Jimmy Kimmel is trash. People in his audience are pumped over the destruction of Tesla. I loathe these people with every fiber of my being. Sorry, I cleaned that up, trying to help Matthew out there, although, he speaks frankly and for himself. I just think that maybe we don't need to be directed quite so much on an entire group rather than on specific people, but regardless, encouraging this behavior is kind of, trash human mode. Definitely trash human mode. And honestly, this just goes on and on and on and on. I mean, Paul actually probably does the best version of this. Jimmy Kimmel shamelessly calls for Tesla vehicles to be vandalized by not calling for them to be vandalized. Yeah. Everyone knows this trick, this dog whistle, and of course, Kimmel's one of the best at it. That's the kind of humor that he almost is good at. He used to be a good comedian and television host. That went away a long, long time ago. Absent Adam Carolla, this guy is a talentless hack. And that's the truth. Paul finishes up here by saying, at Elon Musk, of course, calling out Elon on Twitter, should sue Kimmel for inciting violence against Tesla, and ABC should fire Kimmel. Well, no, I think they should also be included in the suits, along with probably Disney. In fact, I would just go right at Disney at this point. Disney is going to have to start coming to grips with the fact that if they don't find the middle, they're going to find more than just lawfare, but financial difficulty, because people are turned off by this stuff. They're turned off by Disney, and you're about to see a Snow White movie that's going to prove that point. Now, Zachary Lehman writes for a lot of places, including one of my favorites, Hollywood in Toto. He joined Mediaite in 2002. And while my opinion of Mediaite may not be positive, at least I know that they have some people that are capable of walking the line between both sides. And his presentation of evidence leads me to believe that he's on the right side of history, which is a good thing. I do know this much. Inciting any kind of violence is a bad plan. I think that Jimmy Kimmel should be called on the carpet for that in one way or another. My preference would be for him to find his way out the door on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. But beyond that, I would kind of hope that Disney figures out that this guy is a liability and the show's a liability, and they have some liability. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy talking to you on a podcast, on a video, or however you're watching. I want to know what you think. Audience participation time. So, down in the comments section below, let me know. Do you think Kimmel is going to be somewhat culpable in future attacks on Teslas and dealerships and private individual property? Do you think it was a wise way to make a joke in even a snarky, sarcastic way about this kind of violence? And do you think that Disney should be also culpable for some of the things that he is saying, especially this stuff, on his show last evening? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands because it's good hygiene. And until next time, see ya for real.